It was a stormy night when Chief Ndozi, one of the richest men in the city, returned to his new countryside mansion without notice. His black car rolled through the heavy rain. The gate was locked. He grew angry, honking loudly. Then, a thin young houseboy ran out through the rain to open it. The boy bowed low, shaking, water dripping from his face. Chief's torchlight shone on the boy's face, and something strange happened. The billionaire froze. The eyes, the voice, even the posture. Something about the boy felt familiar. "Boy, what is your name?" Chief asked. "My name is Chucks, sir," the boy said softly. Chief frowned deeply. That name hit him like thunder. It was his late wife's favorite name for their only son, Chukwudi. But his son had disappeared years ago. As the rain poured harder, the boy quickly stepped aside and whispered, "Welcome, sir." Chief stared at him for a long moment before walking inside, his heart restless. If you're watching this video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments where you're watching my folktale story from. I want to know how far it has traveled. That night, Chief couldn't sleep. He kept hearing the boy's voice echoing in his head. 5 years earlier, the same chief sat in his mansion surrounded by wealth, cars, servants, luxury. But peace was missing. His only son, Chukwudi, had just turned 18. The boy knelt before his father and said, "Father, I want to live a simple life. I want to understand what people go through." Chief laughed bitterly. "My blood will never serve another man. You will take over my business empire." Chukwudi stood up, eyes full of tears. "I don't want your money. I want wisdom." Guests and staff watched the heated argument. Pride filled the air. Chief shouted, "Then get out. If you want to live like the poor, go and serve them." That was the day Chief lost his son. As Chukwudi walked out with only a backpack, thunder rumbled in the sky. He didn't look back until he reached the gate. "Father," he said quietly, "maybe one day you'll understand." The guards shut the gate behind him, and that sound marked the beginning of his new life, a life his father would never imagine. Days turned into weeks, then months. The mansion felt empty. Chief's son never returned. The media began to whisper, "The billionaire's only heir has vanished." Chief acted like he didn't care, but at night he walked through his son's empty room, touching the old books and pictures. Still, pride would not let him call. His manager, Mr. Koza, comforted him. "So, boys like that always come back when hunger humbles them." But behind Koza's smile was greed. He had started moving company money secretly, transferring properties to his own name. Chief was too distracted by pain and anger to notice. Rumors began spreading in the business world that Chief's empire was shaking, that he had lost his only heir. One night, as Chief stared out his window, he whispered, "Chukwudi, wherever you are, I hope you see what your foolishness has done." He didn't know that life was already teaching both of them lessons they would never forget. Far away, in another city, a young man swept the floor of a quiet compound. His clothes were simple, but his movements graceful. It was Chukwudi, now working as a houseboy. The madam of the house, Madam Ijeoma, noticed his calm spirit. "You speak like an educated man," she said one day. Chukwudi smiled. "Education without humility is like rain that never touches the ground." The other servants laughed at him, calling him professor. But he didn't mind. He worked with peace and respect. Sometimes at night, he would look at the stars and whisper, "Father, I'm not lost. I'm learning." What no one knew was that fate was leading him somewhere. The owner of the house, Madam Ijeoma's husband, was none other than Mr. Koza, his father's manager. When Koza arrived one evening and called for his houseboy, Chukwudi bowed low. Koza didn't recognize him, but Chukwudi's heart pounded. He now worked in the home of the man who was secretly stealing from his father. Mr. Koza was a cunning man, always smiling, always pretending to be loyal. He would visit Chief Ndozi often, bringing fake reports and laughing loudly over meals. One night, Chukwudi passed by his room and heard him on a phone call. Koza said, "Chief trusts me too much. Soon, everything he owns will belong to me." Chukwudi froze by the door. His hands trembled. So this was the man destroying his father behind his back. He pulled out a small phone and quietly recorded the conversation. From that night, he watched every move in the house. He knew he was walking in a den of snakes, but he was no longer the weak boy his father had sent away. When he looked at himself in the mirror that night, he whispered, "Father, your son may wear rags, but I will bring back our name." Outside, lightning flashed across the sky, as if heaven itself was listening. Mr. Koza began to suspect the houseboy. He didn't like how quiet Chukwudi was. He tested him, sending him to deliver fake company papers and spying through cameras. But Chukwudi stayed calm. He worked faithfully, never raising suspicion. Madame Ijeoma began to notice too. "There's something about you, Chucks," she said. "You look like someone running from something." He smiled sadly. Sometimes running is the only way to find peace. Still, Koza's doubt grew. One afternoon, he sneaked into Chukwidi's small room and searched through his bag. There he found the phone and the recorded call. Rage filled him. His heart burned. "So, you've been spying on me," he hissed. That night, he called two men secretly. "Make sure this houseboy disappears," he ordered coldly. At midnight, two men grabbed Chukwudi near the storehouse and dragged him into a waiting car. They drove him to an unfinished building on the edge of the city. "Please, I don't want trouble," Chukwudi begged. But they pushed him down. Just before the men could harm him, a car light flashed across the site. It was Madame Ijeoma. She had tracked her husband's call, suspecting foul play. She jumped out, screaming, "Leave that boy." The thugs fled. She ran to Chukwudi, helping him up. "What is going on? Why would my husband want you dead?" Tears filled Chukwidi's eyes. "Because I know who he truly is. But please, don't tell anyone yet." "Who are you?" she whispered. He looked away. Someone who has already lost everything. The night was quiet again, but both of them knew something dark was about to unfold. The next morning, Madame Ijeoma sat with Chukwudi under a mango tree. "Tell me everything," she said softly. Chukwudi took a deep breath and told her his story, his father's pride, how he was disowned, how he ended up working under her husband. By the end, her eyes were full of tears. "You mean you're Chief Ndozi's son?" "Yes," he said quietly. "But please, don't tell anyone yet. I must find proof before my father becomes completely ruined." She nodded, promising to protect him. That same evening, the news announced that Chief Ndozi had just bought a new countryside mansion, the very one managed by Koza. Chukwudi froze. "That means my father will soon come there," he said. Madame Ijeoma placed her hand on his shoulder. "Then fate is giving you one last chance to meet him." The stage was now set for truth to meet power. When Chief announced he was visiting the new estate that weekend, panic struck Koza's heart. He barked orders at everyone, cleaning the house, fixing files, hiding evidence. He also moved Chukwudi to the mansion to help for the visit. On the night Chief arrived, thunder rolled through the sky. The rain poured heavily. Chukwudi was the one sent to open the gate. As the car light shone on him, time stopped. Chief stayed through the glass, and Chukwudi looked down. "Boy," Chief said slowly, "what's your name?" "My name is Chucks, so." The air went silent. As Chief entered the house, he felt a strange ache in his heart. Something about the boy's voice sounded like the ghost of his past. That night, he lay awake, staring at the ceiling, haunted by memories of his lost son. The rain stopped by morning. Chief still couldn't sleep. The boy's voice had stirred old wounds. He called Koza to his office and demanded to see the account books. "I want everything checked," he said sharply. Koza smiled nervously. "All in order, sir." Later that night, Chief went downstairs quietly for water and found the houseboy reading an old finance book under candlelight. Chief stared, surprised. "Where did you learn to read those?" Chukwudi looked up slowly. "A man once told me knowledge should be earned, not inherited." Chief froze. Those were his exact words from years ago. "Who told you that?" Chief asked. Chukwudi bowed his head. "Someone who forgot what love means." The old man's heart shook. He walked back upstairs slowly, unable to breathe. Koza felt trapped. Chief's questions were growing. He needed to erase all evidence. That night, he sneaked into the study with a flash drive, planning to destroy the files that proved his theft. Chukwudi walked in quietly and saw him swapping documents. "Sir, what are you doing?" he asked calmly. Koza turned sharply. "You again." He slapped him hard. "One word from you, and you will never see tomorrow." But as he stormed out, he didn't know that the security cameras were recording everything, cameras he himself had installed. Later, Chukwudi copied the footage quietly onto a spare drive. He knew the time had come. "Tomorrow," he whispered, "truth will speak." The next morning, Chief called for a full staff meeting. He was ready to hear reports from everyone. Koza stood confidently, presenting his lies with a fake smile. "So, every kobo is accounted for." Chief nodded slowly but remained silent. Suddenly, Madame Ijeoma walked in holding a flash drive. Her hands shook. "Sir, please play this," she said. "Your houseboy risked his life to give it to me." Koza froze as the footage appeared on the big screen. Him stealing, lying, attacking Chukwudi. Gasps filled the room. Chief turned to the houseboy. "Who are you really?" Everyone stared. Chukwudi's eyes filled with tears. He removed his cap slowly. The room fell silent. When Chief saw the boy's face clearly, he staggered backward. The resemblance was undeniable. "Chukwudi, my son." Tears poured down his cheeks. "My son, is it really you?" Chukwudi bowed deeply. "Yes, father. I wanted to know how life feels for those you call small." Chief fell to his knees, trembling. "Forgive me, my son. Pride blinded me." Everyone in the room cried silently. Even Madame Ijeoma wiped her eyes. Koza tried to run, but the guards blocked him. Just then, Chief held his chest in pain and collapsed. People shouted. Chukwudi rushed to him, holding his hand. "Father, please don't die on me now." Chief opened his eyes slowly. "You found wisdom. I found shame." The siren of police cars wailed in the distance. The news spread like wildfire. The mighty Chief Ndozi had been betrayed by his own manager, and his long-lost son had saved him. At a press conference, Chief stood beside his son. Reporters filled the hall. He pointed at Koza, who stood in handcuffs. This man wore loyalty on his face but carried poison in his heart. Cameras flashed as Koza was taken away. Then Chief turned to the crowd and said, "A man who loses his child to pride loses his peace forever. My son has taught me what true riches mean." He knelt publicly before Chukwudi, tears falling. "Forgive me, my son." Chukwudi lifted him up. "Let the past rest, father. Let's build something better." The hall erupted in applause. Months later, a new foundation opened in the city, the House of Second Chances. Its mission, to train and support young servants and the poor. Chief and Chukwudi stood side by side, welcoming the first students. "From now on," Chief said softly, "we build with love, not pride." As the sun rose behind them, Chukwudi smiled. "Father, we have both learned. The rich are not those with money, but those with peace." The camera zooms out, from father and son to the gates of the news center, where a simple sign reads, "Kindness is wealth." The story you have just heard is a beautiful African tale I heard long ago. I'm telling you to wake your mind to kindness and fairness. Tell me in the comments what you learned from this story, because every story is like a candle that can light another's path. God bless you. On the final screen, I'm leaving you with one of this channel's most beloved folk tales. I promise it will surprise you. Thank you for staying until this moment.